guys, welcome back to Over Easy Acres. We're a family of 6 living in southern Idaho and still working on getting into our house that has been being built for quite a few months now. It's in its final stages. We hope, we pray. If you haven't been following along, go check those videos out. If you have been, we're just going to do a day in the life here. So I'm currently at the university to go have a piano coaching lesson. I take them every other week here and just perfecting my skills for you never know what opportunities. I've played my whole life. So I'll take you along there, and then I'm going to show you how to make easy sourdough. There's so much out there on the internet and everywhere of it being super hard. There's also some places that are encouraging and easy, but I learned a really easy way, kind of just a measure with your heart method. And since we are now not living in our house yet and I don't have my scale, I can't be meticulous about grams and certain things that I used to really pay attention to for precise measuring. Now it's kind of just dump and go and hope it's the right consistency. And you know what? It's still feeding the family. It still tastes delicious. So I'm going to show you that later. But first, I better go to my lesson. Now that we don't live in the city anymore, it's about 42 minutes, I think, for me to get here. It's 25 miles one way. So it's an investment. Glad I only do this once every 2 weeks. It's 13 degrees out here right now, but it's sunny, so that part's nice. I can actually feel the warmth of the sun, but chilly. I feel like nothing's changed since college. Cement stairs, cement buildings, echoey hallways, uninspiring areas. Right, now I wait for my turn. I am playing Beethoven and Chopin today. Okay, all done. It feels refreshing out here because it's always so hot in that room, and it's warmed up a little bit. So, okay, on our way home, we're gonna go pick paint for the door, and then I'll show you that sourdough. Okay, we are out to go get a red color. I think we've picked it out. We looked at some online colors, but I really want to see it in person first. So, what vehicle are we taking? Truck? Okay, so we're gonna go look at that. I think they might carry it at Lowe's. We like Home Depot, but Lowe's is a little closer, so might go there. And first I have to get coffee because I just do. And then we'll just keep going.
What happened?
Okay, we're getting our coffee. We don't go out to eat too often, and we don't go out on dates very often, but these are our coffee dates. So we just kind of stick them in, and they're fun. And we even brought our own sweet treat because we just get oat milk lattes without any flavor. And so I can have 5 squares of my little chocolate bar. Makes me really happy. You should try it. Okay, we're here at Lowe's. The color that I think we want is Benjamin Moore Caliente. I looked it up online, but I really want to see it in person first before making such a decision as how to paint our door.
No, I need to open.
All right, turns out we can't use Benjamin Moore. We have to go with Sherwin-Williams, so I guess all my looking up is really for nothing. But I mean, this is kind of pretty. It's called Borscht. It's, I don't know, it's under rustic farmhouse. No, it isn't. European countryside. I don't know. What do we think? Okay, how does ours compare? Ooh, it looks burgundy once you get it up there. Okay, so nothing's as easy as it seems. They didn't have what I wanted, but they did say that they can put it into any color you want. So then I had these other samples. I think I liked this one actually the best, but the color that I wanted they couldn't show, but they can bring it up in the computer. So anyway, we did get the code for it. It's Caliente AF290, I think Benjamin Moore, and they can put that into a Sherwin-Williams. So I think we're just gonna go with that since I liked the pictures that I saw on Pinterest, you know, the tiny little 1/2 inch by 1/2 inch pictures. But like Rob said, it's a door. If we hate it, we'll just repaint it. Here we go for our simple sourdough. So I'm using my starter that I had made, and right away you can see that I'm sinning by using a metal spoon. but I haven't killed it yet. I'm measuring out approximately a half cup of starter. Normally I would be meticulous and I would measure out 100 grams, but since I don't have that, I just do the eyeball method. To that, I'm going to add 4 cups of flour instead of 500 grams because it's roughly equivalent. However, you do have some slop because whether your dough or your flour is fluffed or not fluffed or packed. So it's approximately 4 cups, and so I just dump that in. Here I would normally use 2 teaspoons of salt, but I only have a 1 tablespoon measure, so I'm putting in about 2/3 of a tablespoon of salt, and I'm just going to dump that right on in. And to that, I'm adding 1.5 cups of water, which is about equivalent to the 350 grams that I would usually weigh out. And now I'm using that terrible metal spoon again, which everyone says don't use, but I'm using it to stir it around. And like I said, I haven't killed anything yet. It has worked for me for the last week and a half. So I'll just continue to use my spoon. I'm just going to stir it up until it's the consistency that I'm used to working with, which is kind of a stiffer dough. Sometimes I go for a higher hydration, which just means that it has more water in it. I haven't been really too fussy while living here. I'm more flexible on how it is, but I do need enough water to flour ratio so that the flour is absorbed by the water. So you can see I'm not fully kneading it in. I'm just mixing it until all of the flour is incorporated and it kind of makes a shaggy dough. And you can see by the consistency there, it's kind of on the bit stiffer side. I did decide that it needed perhaps a little bit more water, so I added a couple tablespoons more, and then I'm just going to work that in. And it became a little bit sticky on me, so maybe you want somewhere in the middle, but you know, it's been working out and I'm not too worried about it being just perfect with the measurements. There, I'm showing it. You can see it's still sticking to my fingers, but don't worry about that part because you're going to come back and do stretch and folds. And so all of that sticky part starts going away as it settles and uses up the flour. Here I don't have a Banneton basket, I don't have a wrap or anything, so I just use an Albertsons bag to cover it up. Here I am feeding my starter. I'm using rye flour and all-purpose flour. Normally I would weigh it out at home and use 22 grams of rye flour and I guess 78 grams of all-purpose flour, but here I just kind of had to eyeball it. And then I just go ahead and throw in some water and I'm going to stir that all up. Again, it's kind of like a stiff pancake dough, and that's how I learned initially of how to gauge whether your starter is correct or not. You would just mix it up, and if it felt like a very stiff pancake batter consistency, then you're completely fine. Like I say, now I weigh it so I know exactly my ratios, but I'm not too worried. What I'm roughly going for here is a 1-3-3 ratio. So I have 1 part starter, 3 parts water, and 3 parts flour, total flour. Now it's time for that first stretch and fold. I'm just gathering up one side, folding it across the other, and I do that 4 times. You can already see that the dough isn't nearly as sticky as it was. Still a little bit sticky, but then I'm going to cover it back up and I'm going to repeat the process in about 30 to 60 minutes. I haven't been super precise, but you can see that the bubbles are starting to form. The dough is getting a lot silkier, still on the higher hydration side. As you can see, it's a wetter dough. But sourdough is really very forgiving. So I did the 4 sides. I'm going to cover it up again, and I'm going to repeat that process probably 2 more times. This is the last process. I'm shaping the dough. I put it out on the counter. Then I just pull it towards me. A good tip is use wet hands. My hands could have been a little bit wetter in this, and then pull towards you. It just helps it not stick. But it's a nice silky dough, and I'm just shaping it into a loaf because I don't have my boule Banneton basket, so I'm just using what this Airbnb has, which happened to be this shape. So in it goes, and then I'm going to let it raise for a couple more hours. covered. And then at that point, I'm going to stick it into the refrigerator overnight. Now here's the next day. I'm getting ready to bake it. I put it in a 400-degree oven, covered it with another lid, and I'm going to let it cook for 20 minutes. After the 20 minutes, I'm going to take it out very carefully and remove the lid and let it bake an additional 20 minutes. And here you can see it's a little darker than what I would ideally do. But I'm working with someone else's oven and I don't really know. And normally I would not butter the top of the bread, but because this is in a loaf shape, I wanted a softer crust. So if you want that softer crust on the top and easier for slicing, just go ahead and glaze it with some butter when it's hot. It makes it super delicious too. Once your bread is completely cool, and I do reiterate completely cool, it's time to slice it. If you slice it warm, it is delicious, but it tends to be a little gummy and you'll collapse some of the crumb inside. It will get a little bit sticky. So here I've waited until it's nice and cool, and then I can slice it easily. And you can see that it has this wonderful, light, fluffy, spongy texture. Not a lot of holes in it, but it's great for sandwich bread. Like I said, it feeds the family, it's nutritious, and it's delicious. So you really can't go wrong. That's the beauty of sourdough, is that you can eat your mistakes. It's not like you have to throw anything away. It's delicious no matter what it looks like. All right, guys, that's a wrap for this video. It's actually the next day because I had to film both days so I could show you how the sourdough turned out. But thanks for shopping for paint with us. Let me know if you try the sourdough. Don't be intimidated. Super yummy and lots of fun to make. So until next time, God bless.